Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Mary Sky Riddley's video blog of Mary Sky. So I have a couple updates for you. First of all, if you see the title, the Senate, the U.S. Senate, sold the Dems upriver. Isn't that amazing? They get a victory dance. Hold on a sec. A giant victory dance. And all of a sudden, as my sister and I said, you guys got sold upriver. Yeah, a lot of people you are throwing a fit. They're going, how come we were sold upriver? Simple. I'll tell you why. Because your lives don't matter. To them, they don't care. So my adopted brother, he's like, oh, he threw me under the bus again. Nah, not really, but you know what, if you want me to. You see, my adopted brother, he's always thinking about, hey, what, we may get a stimulus check, woo, Trump, yeah. Well, what happens if the Supreme Court turns around and says tariffs are illegal? What then, huh? You think Trump's going to sit there and be like, forget it, I'm going to do it anyways? I mean, literally, they can impeach him for that. So do you really think? But then again, you're like, oh, we own the libs, we own the libs. Yes, well, Americans are going to basically turn around, I think, more people from now. And I'll tell you my theories on this. My theories are really big, and my theories are pretty big, and my theories are grandy big. So, let's see, whether it was that ibuprofen. Ugh. Every time I turn around, my ibuprofen goes missing. Dang dog, he ate my ibuprofen. It's all the way over here. So, here's the deal. I gotta order some more of these. It looks like, might as well put that in the shopping list too. Might as well do it, right? So I told you I would do it around 8:30. I got sidetracked. I had a chat with my sister. We talked about taxes and tariffs, and you know, the reason they voted blue across the board was they wanted freebies. This is her own opinion, okay? And you know, you could sit there and say, oh, but you know, it doesn't mean anything. Well, maybe, maybe not. So, fortunately, it is what it is. So, anyways, my theory goes like this. Remember, I said if it passes, it passes. My brother's like, oh, it passed, up yours. Yeah, well, up yours, up yours. You know why? It doesn't pass the House. If it passes the House, then you have something to celebrate. But right now, all he's worried about is, my adopted brother's worried about a Social Security case going through. Personally, every day it's delayed. It's longer and longer. So it may take him another 6 months to a year before they even approve it. If they approve it. If they want to approve it. No one knows. I mean, literally. Maybe they got this program. They're like, dang, Republican Trumper denied. Oh, I was denied. I'm a Trumper. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, they could do that. They could start, 2029. They could basically start denying people because of based on their political affiliation. It's not supposed to, but it could happen. But guess what? The point is the American people are sitting there pissed. Everywhere I go tonight, they're like, toe the line. I was on Blue Sky, which I'm never on Blue Sky. People say to me, what's the point of having Blue Sky if you don't talk prepping things? Well, I posted tonight, just like something simple, like keep it real or something. Like, keep prepping. We're not out of the woods yet, yeah? Anyways, so 60 votes passed, goes to the House. The House can pass it. The House can deny it. Really, they need, how many House, they got to pass it by a margin. And so the House can only pass it, I think, with with few deflects. But apparently Johnson's like, we're going to pass it. If we pass it, they're going to do what we say. Well, little Johnson may get it, but American people, I think the American people are not going to forget. I think this is what's going to happen, okay? My brother's like, whoop, whoop, they're going to open up, whoop, up yours, whoop, whoop. They could turn around and say up yours and then turn off the food stamp. And then they'll say it's unconstitutional under the general fund to do SSI now. My sister was like, I hope they take away SSI from 90 million people. They don't need it, those freeloading bums. Yeah, My sister was very vocal about that. She didn't mind Social Security survivors. She didn't mind retirement. She didn't mind disability. But she wanted them to cut SSI because that's where the problem is. The cancer is on SSI. With cancer and SSI, food stamps, electrical subsidies, gas subsidies, garbage subsidies, what was it she said? Healthcare subsidies, Medicaid. I mean, anyone on SSI, they get the full brunt of, I'm too poor, I need it all, and she's like, cut it out like a cancer. Anyways, to the truth of the matter here, in my opinion, They could have basically not won. I mean, look, Senate said we had no deal. They want to blame the Democrats for the shutdown. The Dems are being... The Dems... See, the thing is they found a scapegoat. Okay, here's the thing. They found a scapegoat. The Republicans found their scapegoat. It was all Donald Trump's fault. Everyone said, oh, it's Donald Trump's fault. Well, okay, cool. Or it's Miller's fault, or Craphead's fault, or Dumbbutt's fault, or Pooper's fault, or whoever's fault, right? It's Cabinet's fault. Fortunately, for me, it doesn't matter, because I'll tell you why it doesn't matter. Because everyone in this world wants to blame the Democrats. Well, guess what? We're going to blame the Democrats. And I'll tell you why we're blaming. See, if the Democrats had this so-called mandate, right, and this so-called leverage, you would think they would sit there and say ACA subsidy. But the Senate goes, no, you can leave the government shut down for 9 months. I mean, look, yeah, 9 months, right? But the thing is, one guy's like, oh, you know, you're full of crap. It's not going to happen. It passed, right? It passed. Unfortunately, it passed because the thing is there's clickbaiters out there that knows if it doesn't pass, we're screwed, right? Thing is, what happens to the House? What happens to the House? Nothing. The House is safe. Yeah, the House is safe because we don't know what the House is going to do. If every Democrat says no, they got to basically pass it with a two or three majority, you think? Well, let me look that up. Let's ask the AI real quick. Just because. Okay, let's see. Turn the volume down so you guys don't hear it. I don't like it talking while I'm on video. Okay. So, question for you. So if the House passes, the government reopens since the Senate did. How many votes does the House need to pass, and how many Democrats have to get on board? Can they pass it with all Republican votes? There we go. AI says, and the survey says, Brother Ted's being thrown under the bus again. It says they need 218. The Republicans hold, which is 219. So, they're their own votes. However, there's such tiny margin, they can only afford to lose one Republican vote. So, currently, they could pass it on party lines with one vote and just ram it through. Unfortunately, they may not like the food stamp part. The House can sit there, no, we're going to pass it back to the Senate, let them vote again. You say, the problem is, there's two problems here, okay? I'll give you the problems. One is the House could get it and say, okay, oh, by the way, hold on, well, let's see what's in the continuous resolution. Well, let's ask the AI that real quick. So, can you tell me real quick, the Senate passed tonight, 60-40. So, what's the main things the House may not pass in the continuing resolution before they kick it back to the Senate for another vote? You see, the point is they could do that. So, it says... Okay, continue. The big issues is Senate Democrats wanted the ACA. They never got that. The funding levels and policy writers, clean extension, policy writers. So they want to do it for 12 appropriation bills till January 30th. Yes. Look, I asked a question. The continuing resolution was passed in the Senate tonight, 60-40, with only up to January 30th before they have to do another vote. So, the question is, what is it that the House may kick it or deny it, is what I'm saying. I hate AI. That's dumb. There it goes. They're right there. See, the Senate version, likelihood... Never mind. You're useless as a useless machine. When I said that Senate passed it tonight on November 9th, 2025, they passed it already, 60-40. Republicans and Democrats worked together, but there was no ACA subsidies, you stupid machine. See, machine thinks the ACA subsidies are going to be passed. You see how stupid AI is? You can't trust any AI. So apparently this AI basically is... Never mind. Anyways, let's just continue without the AI's help. So basically the government turns around. They pass this 40-60, right? And then my brother's like, oh yeah, up yours, woo, woo, woo. Well, yeah, well, guess what? Up yours. That's what I'm going to say. No Christmas for you. I'm not giving you a gift card. I'll tell you why. Because you can't sit there and poke a bear when the bear is basically stating that it has to pass the House. And the House may basically stonewall it. Why will they stonewall? I'll tell you why again. Because Gravalva, right? Gravalva is the lady who... Congressman Grijalda or Grahula or whatever, she gets to sign in the 218th. There's a special election coming up for another Republican seat. Fortunately, that would cancel out Grijalva. That's what they're waiting for. But the House can't just wait till December 2nd to keep the government shut. They could, but then what happens? People are going to be pissed off more and then vote more against it. You see, the American people have two choices. They can vote red and say, I'm tired of the red people. Or they can vote blue, or they could sit there and say, look, the blue sides are pissed. The blue states are pissed. The blue people are pissed. You should see the comments. Every comment says they want Chuck Schumer removed. They want, who's the other guy? They want Dick Durbin removed. Dick Durbin, I think, is retiring, so it doesn't matter. If he doesn't, they want Durbin and Schumer removed. And you know what? If this is what the blue states think about, because Schumer's going to have to answer himself. But you know what? He doesn't. He just sat there and he committed to making this deal. Then he goes in and goes, oh, I said no. Really, I tell you the truth what happened, okay? Americans are pissed. They're pissed because the food stamps are on hold. They're trying to reverse it again. And then on top of that, what happens when the food stamps get frozen? Who's got to pay for the food stamps? The one that took the food stamps already, that's gone. So how are they going to take it back? As a matter of fact, they're working through the night. Apparently there may be a billing or something tomorrow. Unfortunately, a lot of people are like, well, what's going to happen to us? I don't know. But the American people are tired. American people are tired. And, yeah. They're tired of feeling like they got crapped on. Plain and simple. I mean, think of the voters. The voters are pissed off, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, apparently there's something new. The fake electors are all getting pardons right now. Yeah, the fake electors. Look, and yeah, there's a lot of people on, so basically there's people out there that's saying that we need to vote out, Schumer and Durbin. Yeah, Yeah, so there you have it. So apparently all these people, they're claiming they caved. And the reason they caved because the airlines called and said, look, you know, we have flights unleashed, everything else, and what are you going to do about it, you know? Yeah. Yeah. So... yeah, I just don't even know what to think. Yeah, go figure. So basically, here's what the American people are saying on Blue Sky and the rest of the channels and comments. They say, what did we accomplish? Well, I'll tell you what guys accomplished. Nothing. You just accomplished nothing. You see. There's Democrats, there's Republicans. The Democrats, they sit there and they want, you know, what they want. And the Democrats represent corruption, greed, the freeloading group. The Democrats believe in corruption, greed, fraud, waste, and abuse. Whereas the Republicans want fraud, waste, and abuse gone. And look what they did. They're literally thinking, okay, we need to see who's on food stamps. What if they come out and say anyone on food stamps, 72 million of them, sorry, it's like 42 million, children or whatever, and their parents, they can't ever vote again. Are you willing to give up your voting rights for less votes? Yeah, maybe, because half of you people probably don't vote anyways. And then they say, what if 72 million or 80 million people on Social Security, you get checks, you give up your vote? I'd be sitting there smiling going, ha-ha, Brother Ted, no vote for you. I mean, it's a small price to pay to get benefits. I mean, it'd be like sitting there saying, he says, don't throw me under the bus. It'd be like saying that drug users shouldn't be owning guns, even if it's pot. Just get rid of the drug users, right? My sister said to me tonight, she says, how many drug users are in your building? I said, there's plenty. She said, I think they should all be rounded up and shot. That was my sister. Why? Because the American people want people to be shot. Well, actually, not quite that way, but, the thing is freeloaders are literally freeloading. The thing is, my sisters, there's my one sister I talk to weekly, and then there's other sisters. The other sisters, they're like the little kids, the little Hispanic kids that want to learn and become a good citizen in this country gets deported. The drug user gets to sit there and smokes his crack. My one sister said just plug the crackhead and get it over with. Okay. Because they don't want to get treatment. And, the thing is, there's too much fraud, waste, and abuse in this country, and I'm blaming the Democrats. The Democrats turn around and they can't do their damn job. Literally. Yeah. Yeah. They can't do their damn job. They can't do their damn job, and then they turn around and, you hear all this stuff like, oh yeah, they can't do their job. Yeah, they can't do it. I mean, literally, they cannot do it. And yet, I mean, I don't trust these Democrats. They lie, they cheat, and they steal. Everyone, you got insane Democratic crapheads who think they're entitled while everyone else should be paying for it. I mean, look, someone said to me, I was outside and someone said, aren't you worried about the people's health care? I said, no, vote it out. And they're like, you're a bigot. No, not really. You see, I have a family member that's on the ACA. His health care went to $1,800 a month because of all his pre-existing conditions. You could say, oh, well, he probably had it coming. He's 73. Yeah. Another guy I know, his health care was like $400 Medicare. It went up from $400 to $2,600. Well, you're like, well, why so expensive? He's gay. You see, they're handpicking who gets to pay the high premiums. No. The thing is the American people, they're tired. They're tired of turning around and being upset with what's going on. And so everyone has to suffer. And I'm not going to allow the people to suffer anymore. Because I'm tired of seeing all these people turn around. And what are they voting for? Yeah, they're voting for what? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at all these people. Yeah. Yep. I mean, literally. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So even if people sit there and say I'm a no to the deal, the Senate opening, it doesn't matter. Senate passed it. Thing is, they don't care about your. They don't care about what you care for or what you're there for. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. See, I saw a lady today, Jackie Rosen. She was on the Midas Touch Network saying she would vote no, and yet she voted yes to pass it for some stupid reason. Yeah, so I wouldn't even basically turn around and basically be happy about that. But then again, this is what happened. So my sister brought this up too. Apparently they passed a thingy in Colorado that raised taxes by 0.02% to pay for free lunches for kids. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I like that one. It's funny. Anyways, the main thing is the American people have voted, and the American people are pissed off, you know. Oh, yes. Anyways. So, the Democrats, this is what the news is coming out with, stuff like that. So, like Ezra 11 posted on Blue Sky, I'm hearing the same thing. Dems are nearing a surrender. They did. I'm shocked. Wow. Largest protest in history. Wow. Plus best election night in years. Wow. Polling showing we're kicking their butts in public opinion. Now Dems have caved. Yeah. You know why? Because there was no deal. Literally, there was this was a two-pronged attack. Yeah. It ain't over till it's over. So please do if you call if you got a Dem senator. Yes. Well, you know, I've already posted my opinion to my senator. You know, I just basically said, you know, they needed, yeah. U.S. president said they're dogs. There's Clinton, Bush Jr., Obama, and Donald Trump with the Little Johnson as his dog. Yeah. Well, anyways, all these people. Yeah. And so the government... You know, the people were booing today at the theater, right? And I'm thinking, yeah. Mm-hmm. They were talking about shifting gears to F-450, less back, and yeah, all these people are making... I don't get it. So, the bottom line is the American people turned around and they're fed up with, you know, the voting. I mean, they voted a lot. They think they have a mandate, and yet the Democrats think they had a mandate, but the Democrats didn't have anything. The Democrats had zilch. And guess what happened? Their mandate was utterly garbage. Yeah, and then they say, oh, well, we got what we wanted. Really? You didn't get the health care subsidies. American people, where I live, they want their health care. If they don't get their health care, keep the government shut down. Well, there's a lot of people think that, but to me, I have my own reasons why I want the government reopened, and it's not for reasons you guys need to know, because frankly, it's not about food stamps. Food stamps, in my opinion, there's too many people that are alcoholics and drug users that are collecting food stamps, which they qualify for, not getting treatment, and basically having the taxpayers fund their eating habits while they're buying booze and other stuff, and I don't support it. I don't support this. I don't support, you know, drugs. That's the thing. I mean, people said to me, what happened to you? Simple. You know, in this day and age, we all have to basically pay the piper. The piper says less money for groceries or conserve, which means cutting out things you don't need, like going down the store, pushing a shopping cart, and then turning around and being like, oh, look at this, right? And you turn around, and what happens? You turn around and you see liquor, and all grocery stores sell liquor. You go in there, you're like, oh, got into a half gallon, another half gallon. Next, you know, you're walking out and you drink it all. Then you're thinking you need some more. Right now, the only thing I need is to tell you guys that alcohol and drugs ain't the answer. You need a Bible and you need a Quran. But most people these days, they don't want a Bible, they don't want a Quran. They just want to drink because they think their world is down the toilet because we have, oh, we're gonna be against. Really, if you're against the leader of our country, then go and do what you do, as you revolt by peacefully protesting without being shot by pepper balls, with rubber bullets, or tear gas. But most of you people, you do that, and then others are like, well, if we do this, we may basically have the Insurrection Act. Well, the Insurrection Act hasn't invoked it yet, and that's only 1 year. And a lot of people, yeah, and then there's a lot of people out there that are worried about that. Yeah, they're worried about the Insurrection Act, which reminds me, I am curious about it. I'm just curious about this. The Roku channel. Yes. Yep. Yeah, that seems great. So I'm just seeing here, it's these, let's see, can we actually sign in here? Yeah, let me see. I don't know. I haven't had a password in a while. Let's see if this works, because I'm just curious. Yep. Oh, so it's like, do you want to sign in? Okay, let me see. Signing in, alright. No. So I'm just checking real quick. I don't remember. Oh, great. Don't you just hate that? You try to basically put in a password and you have problems. Okay, so I'm just checking here. So I could subscribe right here and I'd be fine and dandy for it. Yes. Let me look, because I just check from time to time. Yeah. Yeah. So apparently my sister was asking about this howdy thing today, and I was like, yeah. Yeah, she's like $2.99, can't pass it up. And I was like, yeah. So apparently, yeah, it tells us what they're buying, and yeah, and then she asked me something or other, but money is tight, you know. But anyways, let's get back to the thingy, okay? So basically, the Democrats are now pissed off at the Democrats for basically not towing the line. Sorry, dude. Maybe they want to basically open up so people can have Christmas or Thanksgiving, because apparently everything everything I've seen in the posts say the government doesn't care if the government stayed shut down for 6 more months. They don't. They don't care because they don't care for Christmas and Thanksgiving crappy. As long as they don't have to give you health care, they don't care. And once that's gone, they're going to work on your food stamps. They're going to work on your SSI. Sorry, Brother Ted, that's next on the list on Project 2025. Did you read it? No? Wow, that's amazing. Throw them under the bus, because apparently, eventually, by the time 4 years is up, you know, Steve Bannon says, we're going to have President Trump for another term, and you're going to lose your Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and your food stamps. But you get Trump. Isn't that a great turnaround? Well, I think my brother Ted would agree to it. Anyways, we're just throwing that out there as a joke, you know. We don't know what's going to happen, okay? But a lot of Democrats are pissed off at the fact that the American people are pissed off because they want to toe the line. And then, you know, you look up Blue Sky and you hear things like Senator Cantwell and Senator Murray, and they're like, well, you know, we're towing the line. Really, if we were towing the line, you would do more than that. You would basically read your comments where they're saying it's time for you to literally, what do you call it? Force Chuck Schumer to resign, and that guy in Chicago, Dick Durbin. I mean, come on, dude. Heck, while you're at it, why not just basically, I mean, look. A lot of people ask me all the time out of bitterness, what beef do I have with the Senate? I do have beef with all of it. They don't do their damn job. And that's it. you know what? They don't do their damn job. Yeah, the thing is, they don't. I mean, literally. I mean, we have the most advanced computers in the world, apparently, okay? The most advanced, right? My brother Ted, he's like, oh, I can't trust AI except for Grok. Throw him under the bus. Grok. Sorry, dude, but AI sucks. Why do you think I don't use much, man? Testing it out sucks. My dog here, he's happy. He's got gravy bones. Love that little guy. He's so furry. He looks like a little dog. He looks like a little teddy bear. Anyways, bottom line, people, is the American people had this, like, 5 days. They thought they had leverage and said they just pissed their leverage away. That's what they're saying. They're like, we pissed our leverage away. We need to ask for Schumer to resign. Then contact Schumer's office in the morning. Tell them you want to resign. You want him to resign. Contact Durbin's office. Tell them you want him to resign. Because frankly, do you think they will? No, they're getting more money than you. They'd rather let you go hungry so they can sit there and say, well, you know, Chuck Schumer, we have to make sure the government turns around and takes away your benefits so that we can use that as leverage in 2026. Think about it. I may be dumb as a bag of hammers at times, but I'm not dumb with this. They're going to use it as leverage. Why do you think they don't care about your ACA subsidies? Because they want you to be so pissed off that if they can basically show 2025 was not a bust, that 2026 will basically screw them over, and by 2028 they'll put in both three things that they go, literally, and then start cleaning up the mess. And by then they can deprogram the Trumpers who believe Donald Trump is the Messiah. I mean, look. Maybe in the end of 2025, we'll sit down, we'll have a chat, we'll talk about what really matters in the world. Because I'll tell you what I think matters in the world. Finances. Finances where people sit there, they can't afford it. I mean, literally, you know what the Democrats are saying right now, people? You gave our only leverage away for what? 40 days for what? There's government employees like, hey, we'll take out another mortgage to help the American people out. But now they're like, so we got fired, we got shut down for what? Yeah, for what? This is what the Democrats do. They always use whatever they can to slow walk things and to dissolve it or to, yeah, plain and simple. That's what I want to tell you guys. So, what's that tell you? Now, tells me nothing. Yeah. In the meantime, I gotta get going because it's almost 10. But, you know, the breaking news was and is and will always be how, you know, my brother, he ain't gonna get a reply from me if he keeps acting this way. That's the first rule of thumb. If he's polite, that's one thing. But if he sits there and toots his own horn, oh yeah, we're gonna get $2,000, whoop whoop. No, we're not. Congress controls the purse string. Supreme Court takes away the tariffs, which could happen. Then what happens? You're going to see the country go into bankruptcy, and then you're going to basically be sitting there wishing that you were like me in many ways, prepping and making sure you eat. Because once that happens, the country is fudged. Yeah, fudged. It's so fudged, you guys are not going to be wanting fudge. Yeah, you're going to be going, oh, fudge. Because the American people are tired of... The American people are tired. They're tired of seeing me and their stuff being screwed around, thrown away. They're tired of waking up in the morning and basically feeling that they're nothing. You see these people, we got the Republicans on the run. No, the Republicans are now basically making the Democrats bend to the knee. You may have won 2025, but you're going to suck all our wieners because we're still in charge until 2026. Or the beginning of 2027, January 3rd. And then what happens January 3rd, 2027, when these people may or may not have the House and Senate? I mean, look. You see, here's the problem with the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party turns around. They turn around. They see a dog under the table, and they just leave him there. Yeah, actually, the Democratic Party turns around, right? And they have this leverage they think they have. And all these people say, we gave you the leverage. You basically told us, we're here, the government shut down. We're here for our subsidies. Keep fighting. Don't let up. 5 days later, we got to open the government up. We can't let the airlines. See, the people with the money, the black money that goes into these campaigns, like Schumer's campaign, he got a call and they said the airlines are going to basically suffer and he's not going to get any money for his parties unless he basically passes a bill. Who cares what the American people want? You see, American people think, but here's what the thing is. When that leaks out eventually that the American people told businesses come first over the American people, they're going to steamroll this in 2026 and roll them over. The Republicans sit there and think, we're great. And yeah, but guess what? When you got enough people that are tired of seeing 50,000 people dying per year because of no health care and no food stamps because they want to gut that and other things. I mean, did you know that President Trump wants to take away LIHEAP? That's fine. That'd be fine. We could basically let people basically be living in the dark. Not better to me. Better have a little extra batteries for your lanterns, though, you see. I mean, literally, all these people say, oh, but they can. They can. You know, if the president turns around and says he wants to gut housing by 99.9% because all of them are drug addicts and alcoholics, I'm sorry, I'd have to support it because I see a lot of alcoholics and drug addicts. I mean, literally, people ask me, well, what am I addicted to? I like video games and coffee. But point is, we're here to talk about the truth. And the truth is, there's too many damn people out there. And, you know, the other thing is, there's too much corruption in this world. Yeah. And so to me, when they sit there and they say to me, well, there's fors and against, right? There's a guy that did, I think it was one of the Mighty Touch Mighty guys. He was doing a before and after, you know. It was like a video, like the before and then the after, right? And one of it was, so anyways, apparently a lot of people are talking about this. I'll get to it next, and I'll watch it, and I'll get back to you guys tomorrow. But apparently, you know, they're saying Chuck Schumer's, it's over for him. Yeah, it is. Vote him out. Or basically ask for, AOC would be a better senator than Chucky Boy. I mean, Chuckles needs to resign. I mean, literally. And that's only because he basically took a knee in March, and now he took a knee in October. And people are loving it. You know, they say he's a Republican and Democrats can. Well, get rid of him then. Make him resign. Because a lot of Americans, where I live, people have been blowing up my emails saying, what are we going to do? Simple. Nothing. I'm not doing anything. You see, I can't do anything. I mean, I have people that sit there and complain about the lack of why I'm eating so good. Simple. The lack of eating so good is because it's the lack of eating so good. Fortunately, Chuckles needs to resign. Yeah. So, in my opinion, it's time to make him resign. Just tell him, resign. I mean, there's a people out there that voted in all states, up and down, voted blue, showing they don't support Trumpism. And guess what happened? The American people are told, look, you have to support Trumpism. And these Americans all over the country said no. They broke the supermajority out of Mississippi. And next year they want to break it more because they want things restored to normal. And that these people I keep telling you about, the rednecks or the Republicans, they turn around and they say, oh, well, the reason why we don't want it is because we don't want to pay. Yeah, we don't want to pay. Think about it, preppers. Do you want to pay? Does he want to pay? Does she want to pay? Does Joe Bob want to pay? Who wants to pay? Think about it. I mean, literally, I got people that emailing me recently asking me today, how do you handle Christmas? You want a Christmas video, I'll do a post on it, how to prep for Christmas. That might be a benefit. I mean, let me put it this way. Chloe and I were talking tonight again about rib roast. She found a place that would do it affordable. But, yeah, that means I have to go off island to pick it up on Wednesday. And do you think I told her, do I really want that? No, I'd rather be sleeping Wednesday. Because by the time I get home, I mean, it'd be like, I don't know. I don't even know the ferry schedule, right? So she gets it picked up, brings it to me, and So, a lot of people say, well, what are you going to do? I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. It depends on the weather. If it's going to rain, Wednesday, it's a different story. If it's not going to rain, it's a different story. But the thing is, I can always basically transfer money before leaving at like 7, and you make sure Chloe transfer it and then rush out of the door. But Chloe's like, oh, well, what are we going to do? Okay, so if I left, say, 8:10, I get in at 9:40, right? Then I meet up with Chloe, pick up the package, and then I leave at 10:30. Wait, 9:40 to 10, yeah, that's about right, 10:40. I get in right about noon, say noon, and then I get home. So then I can climb into bed and sleep for 9 hours, which wouldn't be too bad. It'd be a bit better schedule, but then I'd have to, you see. And that's why Chloe and I have to do it. But Chloe's like, I want rib roast. And to me, I'm like, we really need it with this economy the way it is. And so, So anyways, is it that time of year? No, it isn't. But point is, a lot of people are asking, how do you prep? Simple. I just ordered powdered milk for the month because I'm out of powdered milk. And I have everything else but powdered milk. Yeah. I mean, there's options, but right now, powdered milk is, powdered milk. So, anyways, I got my coffee here, so. So. The bottom line is a lot of people are pissed off at this whole election. Some say it's been fraud. Wasn't. If it was, they would have challenged it by now. Instead, people are saying, oh, well, they're putting a communist in New York. No, it says a socialist. There's a difference. And, yeah, so the American people, they've spoken. They've spoken. We've spoken. Everyone has spoken. And, anyways, everyone has spoken. And I, for one, I think people have spoken. They don't want Chuckles to be in the Senate anymore. They want him to resign. Same with Durbin, due to the fact that they think that they screwed up. I mean, look, I didn't even get to do my pros and cons. So pros is they were going to toe the line. They wanted to shut the government down. They wanted to make a cession. They did. They got everything in the country was wiped blue. Mini tsunami. People are happy. And all of a sudden, Chuckles comes along. And as one group said, they call him Chuckle Fudge. Yeah, I can't swear anymore. Chuckle Fudge. Yeah. And they screwed up. And Chuckle Fudge turns around and does this just like the last time. And then people are like, well, the deal was the Senate didn't have a deal. And the Senate wasn't planning to do a deal. And John Thune wasn't going to agree unless the government reopened with no strings attached. So what happens? Oh, well, we promise we'll do a Senate vote for health care, which, by the way, I just think we should just gut the entire Medicaid program and throw it under the bus. We could save a lot more money because a lot of people on food stamps and Medicaid that's on drugs and alcohol are the ones. I know a lot of people on drugs and alcohol that I don't like that literally on Medicaid, and they get everything handed to them. So if we got rid of that, maybe they can learn a lesson because of it. Now, I know my adopted brother, he'll be like, oh, you can't take away my Medicaid. I don't care. You see, there's too many problems in this world, and if we gutted it, we'd be better suited. Now, Chloe asked me about Medicare. Medicare has been gutted by 4% for 2026. And so it's like basically like less doctors' funds. Why do you think doctors don't want to pay Medicare? And people say, oh, well, it's we're still, yeah. Well, my sister and I argued. She's in the healthcare industry. Turns out my sister didn't know Medicare Part C is Advantage plan. So again, but the thing is, I'm not angry towards my stepbrother. I'm angry at the fact that, I don't need to have someone say, oh, you're throwing me under the bus. No, I'm throwing everyone under the bus because, frankly, I'll tell you what I think. And that is, I think every damn Democrat out there is freaking corrupt. If a Democrat is corrupt, you're not going to see anything get done. I want action on many things, and I want justice on many things. And I don't think a Democrat can turn around. They say, oh, the Republicans are trying to hold the country together to a point. However, the Republicans can't win when you got Chuckle Fudge turning around and selling up everyone's health care for a promise vote, which will get a promise at least in the House. The Senate. But the Senate's not going to pass. And unless they replace old Little Johnson, that ain't going to happen either. Literally, Little Johnson doesn't have to take it up. However, Little Johnson may have to take it up when he's the minority leader unless he gets voted out. And I bet you that in election time in 2026, I bet you right now that there's going to be a lot of Americans out there that are going to go to the polls anyways and vote blue to save democracy. They'll take the blue people temporary. But that means they don't care if they get impeached or whatever. And then, my stepbrother, he's like, oh, the government's going to be great next year. Bessent said we're going to have a great year next year. We're going to be great. We're going to have factories. I have not seen one stinking number. So you can't trust a Republican that's spewing love for Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Sorry to say. I blame both parties. I'm not going to basically love anyone. I'm just going to say it's a crap show, and that's always going to be a crap show until we basically realize that nothing can be done. Look what the Trump administration did in the first term. We had nothing but clickbait. Then Biden came in, we had clickbait. Now we have Trump 2 again, and we have clickbait. Now then it's going to be Biden again for clickbait. Then it's going to be Harris again for clickbait. Then it's going to be Vance for clickbait. See, I'm throwing it out there every time. Thing is, when will people learn to let it go? Literally. But no, my brother, he's just like, clickbait. It's all clickbait. In the meantime, I want to get moving along because I have stuff to do tonight. And I can't keep burning the midnight oil. So I have some stuff I got to check on tonight. Orders to place. Powdered milk, toilet paper, and toilet paper. See, soon as food stamps have been repealed again, ramen goes down in price. Go figure it out. They dropped it again. See, yeah, that's what I told you. Stock market goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. Oh yeah, everyday supplies went down at price now. Look at that. It's like your ramen went down, your toilet paper went down, your soap went down, your razor blades went down. Wow, look at that. Your ibuprofen went down, your candy went down. Everything in your Amazon list that you want to buy that haven't got around to it went down. That's what happens. So, hold on a sec, peeps. There we go. So, bottom line is, I'm out, like I said. Chuckles is going to have to basically fend for himself. In the meantime, I want you all to be safe. And just remember, the pros and cons. Oh, yes. So the pros is, they basically were, they held on and they got health care for an extension for a year. Wouldn't happen. I even said it wouldn't happen. First it was 2 or 3 years. Everyone jumped on board and said, yeah, we don't want to pay higher prices. We need to think about affordability. The Republicans didn't work on that. Dems did, and all of a sudden they swept the country. Then all of a sudden, what happens? Chuckle Fudge turns around and changes it by giving it away for free. And then he says, well, we shut the government long. We got our promise. And a lot of the American people on the other side was like, look, keep it shut down. I mean, now they're just going to push all the way to the House and say, don't let up. I mean, they'd have to basically open up with all 218 voters. And if the constituents write, every House member, including Johnson, that say, vote for it, and you're out in 2026, because a lot of Democrats right now, I believe, want the government to stay shut down. Now, there's people out there that don't. I mean, 40 days is long enough, right? But the thing is, what happens if it goes for 2 months? You know, my brother's like, oh, if it goes for 2 months, we're all going to die. Cool. I get to go to heaven, and he gets to go to hell. See, I can throw that in there, since he always complains I'm throwing him under the bus. Truthfully, it goes like this. Thing is, the American people are pissed. There's only two outcomes. Either this was a no-win-win situation, which means the Democrats have to regroup, turn around and use this to their advantage until 2026 and steamroll them all and then force the thing. But remember, even if they steamroll and get the House and Senate, what happens when the Democrats turn around and have all of it and they get voted? The Americans may basically be like, look, your health care has been taken. Right now, I bet you between now and November 2026, Schumer's going to be replaced. They're going to force Schumer to replace. They can do it. They can do it, and they can get rid of Dick Durbin. They can get rid of all the Democratic whips and replace them. Yeah. And then when they do that, then they can do it. I mean, heck, I wouldn't want even Senator Murray to be joint of the vice chair of the appropriation. I wouldn't want her to be of the majority leader. Heck, I wouldn't even want the President Tim Pro when under Biden Maria Cantwell to be in charge. I mean, I'm sorry, I think it was Maria Cantwell was in charge. I wouldn't even want to watch. They're like, oh, those. I mean, look, they're up there in age, 35, 40 years. People say, oh, really, maybe you should do some research before you spew crap about what you know or don't know about Patty Murray or Maria Cantwell or the Democrats, because, frankly, I mean, if I had my way, I think the best Republican senator, I believe he was Republican, I can look it up. He died, but he was a great, great guy, and I looked up to him. Great guy, by the way. He was a baseball player. Jim Bunning. He was a senator from Kentucky. He served 2 terms, 12 years. Republican junior. He was, great senator. He died 2017 in Edgewood. Yeah. Succeeded by Rand Paul. Yeah, see, Paul took over for him. And, Paul did a crappy job. But you know what? It was a great senator. Yes. Yeah. It was also, see? 10-term, the Cincinnati Metro, 10-term, yeah. First Senate term. Yeah, and then the second Senate term. And then he retired. Yep. Mm-hmm. So he ended his career and gave it to Rand Paul. And, but yeah, I mean, he was Tigers, Phillies, Pirates, Dodgers, Phillies. And I was a Phillies fan for a long time. And so, that's why I said Jim Bunning was a great senator. And Rand Paul, at least Rand Paul did a good job. But in my heart, I still believe Jim Bunning was a great U.S. senator. So, but truthfully, in my heart, no one remembers senators when they retire, unless they were famous. Otherwise, they just go away the dodo bird. So remember that. One day, Chuck Schumer's name's not going to even be there. But the people are pissed. You see, on one hand, the Democrats thought they had a win to tell people we don't support Trumpism. They're going to toe the line. Now they got to go and tell the House to toe the line because the Senate won't do it. Now, on the other hand, the Republicans may have been right. There's no way to lose. I mean, look. Thing is there is no way to win. Yeah, and because of it, the American people need to realize that these people need to realize that, you know, there's too many people out for themselves. And a lot of them are corrupted arseholes. And to me, I don't mind government opening up. As a matter of fact, the government opens up just means we have to do a little more hard work. And that is something I need to log off now before Chloe does her night checks. She's the HA, housing assistant, till like March. Way to go, Chloe. Anyways, like I said, the cons, Americans may just sit this one out. It's highly unlikely. They want to prove their democracy safe, so they're working with all these people and they're steamrolling it. So we'll see what happens in 2026. Things come, things go, things come, things go. Some stay the same, some change. I'm hoping for change. Because I'm tired of too many people out there, you know who you are, who think you're freaking entitled to live off of our tax dollars, to buy booze, alcohol. You think you're entitled because you worked all your life and you're entitled instead of getting peanuts. See, yeah, just trying to be funny here. And these people, these Republicans, these Democrats, the Democrats are going, nope, you're not entitled, you're a Trumper, we're denying you, you're a Trumper, we're denying you, you're a Trumper, we're denying you. Think about it. That's why you're being denied. And I'm talking to my brother, who's a Trumper, who believes in Donald Trump, and I'm telling him the reason they're probably denying him his SSDI is because he believes in Donald Trump. And they're going to stick it in, twist his spikes and twists and show no mercy, like Nixon said in the movie Nixon with Anthony Hopkins. And they're going to stick him in and show no mercy. That's why I don't like Democrats. They have no compassion. They would rather turn around and attack, harm. They claim they're for people, but they're not. They're greedy. They're selfish. They're barbarous. And the Republicans, some of them are the same. But at least the Democrats can sit there and try to say, well, it doesn't matter because you'll vote for a damn ham sandwich if we tell you to. And if a ham sandwich was running for the Democratic Senate, you'd vote for it because we tell you to. Wrong answer. I'm not voting for the damn ham sandwich. I'd take the damn ham sandwich, throw it to my brother, and let him eat the damn ham sandwich. You see, the point is, the American people is not going to vote just because you throw it out there. Oh, well, it's either you vote for Chuck Schumer or you vote for Chuck Schumer. Or you can basically have people do a YouTube channel and other places and start voting against you. If I was running, I'd vote for the principals in this state. We got too much corruption in the state. That's what I'd be running on. I want to crack corruption. I want people to realize that the American people is being played. They're being played by drug addicts and drug users. And yet these drug addicts and drug users get more benefits than frickin' stepbrother Ted. Me. My own mother. My husband used to see Hispanics, brown people, as he used to call them, getting more benefits than me. My sister said the same thing. Leather cars, driving better cars. I've seen it all. And then people sit there and say, are you a bigot? No. I'm telling you what experiences I have as a human being. I heard stories from Sister Zoe when she was a investigator, private investigator for the state of Ohio or Mississippi or Chicago or Illinois or Indiana, something. I don't remember the story, but she had to do things where she had to literally move around at 2 in the morning have high-powered cameras and doing jobs that people wouldn't get paid to do just to see if someone's doing fraud, waste, and abuse. So let me tell you, I have respect for Sister Zoe. I don't have respect for crapheads like these freaking dum-dums who turn around to take advantage of every little thing. So I'll tell you what my plan is for the next week. I got a lot of work to do in the next week. Spreadsheets and more. I can't lack. I can't be lazy. So in the evenings, I'll be busting my butt till it's done. And then in the daytime, I'll sleep. Now, think about it. American people, they're pissed. Tomorrow's another day. Let's see how this plays out. I burned enough time today. Yeah. But you know what? It was to me, I always thought the government shutdown was a waste of time. Didn't do anything. They had nothing. They wanted to blame it on the Republicans. Oh, really? What for? Because Donald Trump wouldn't sign a thing for ACA after his big, ugly bill. The American people basically... I mean, literally, let me put it this way, as my sister said. The Democrats only had their fire restored when everything was coming to a halting end and everything was being taken away. Now, if they could get rid of frickin' fraud, waste, and abuse and people on Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, food stamps, housing, we may be in a better position. But we're never going to be that position because there's too many people out there that will cover their own backsides, then turn around and allow it. Yeah, think about it. Blame it on the Dems. They created this whole damn mess. Free housing, free food stamps, Medicare, Social Security. And my brother Ted would be like, oh, but you're trying to take away my livelihood. Living on peanuts is not a livelihood. Think about it. I'm defending it as in a way, making a statement that says, when does this frickin' end? That's what I'm saying to you people. But my brother Ted, he's like, oh, you're taking away my livelihood. No, I'm not. What I'm saying is, you know, we had transgendered moderators, very beautiful transgendered moderators that were African Americans. Let me tell you, if they were on disability, you think I'm talking about taking away their benefits? No. I mean, the other day, there was a guy who asked me a question, right? Stepbrother asked me a question about Chloe's friend. Chloe's friend's disabled. Been denied more times than Ted in the last 10 years. She's like almost 40, okay? And my brother, he would sit there and be like, you need to realize that I'm an old man and I'm entitled. My sister turned around and said, old man or not. You know, my sister and I were talking about that. She feels for him. She does. Fortunately, she says you can't turn around and change the damn playing field if you got a crusty old geezer that's turning around. That's her opinion, by the way. Crusty old geezer, that's my adopted brother, who complains about everything. I'm complaining about everything because I can. Yeah, let's see. Is that shipped and sold by? Okay. A lot of you people sit there and you're like, well, what about Christmas? What do we do about Christmas? Well, I don't care what you do for Christmas. I don't give a toot. There's two things I really do give a toot about, and it ain't about Christmas. You know what I care about? I'll tell you what I care about. Every day, people say, oh, I must be selfish. I'm greedy because I'm only thinking about, you know, I think about the needs of the people and what the people want. Where I live, people message me and they say to me, why should we be paying for people like in Detroit or Michigan who's on there, Washington's paying for their food stamps or Medicaid? And then I hear other people say, why should we be paying red states? We shouldn't be paying taxes while the government shut down, or we shouldn't be doing this. Well, California can pull off not paying the taxes, then I support California not paying it. But guess what? Thing is, we're all in this boat together, and yet, you know, you see me on YouTube and you ask me questions. Well, Rita, why are you doing this? Why am I doing what? Well, why are you doing this? Simple. I don't want fraud, waste, and abuse. There's too much of it. You sit there and you be the LGBTQIA person in the community. It looks like this. One guy insulted me today. Call me uncle. Sorry, do I look like an uncle? No, I'm an old lady, an ugly old lady. But I'm still an old lady. And yet, you see these girls, oh, we have to pass, otherwise we're going to know. Really, until they do a background check for your subsidized housing for disabled, find out you had a wang or still have a wang, and then they discriminate against you. Point is this is how I see it. People that commit fraud, waste, and abuse, they'll throw everyone else under the bus except for them. I mean, literally. I mean, my adopted brother, you're throwing me under the bus. No, I'm not. What I'm saying technically is this. The American people, they throw themselves under the bus. I'm throwing myself under the bus at times, but guess what? I love all of you. But I'll be not going to sit here and hear people sit there and say things, you know. Sister Pee-wee, great video you sent me, by the way. Great video. Thank you for sharing it. Point is, the American people are tired. They're wore out. They are literally wore out. I'm wore out. The only thing I'm wore out about is I heard from Sister Pee-wee years ago that we're all going to be rounded up and put on train cars. Still waiting. But point is that a lot of Republicans, or they call them Republicans, are tired. They're tired of attacking us. They're tired of being attacked. But guess what? The Democrats, they don't have a spine. That's the thing. The Republicans, they're growing spines. They're sitting there showing things. Democrats are like, oh, if we do this, we're in trouble. Thing is do you really think the Democrats are going away the dodo bird? I do. I think the Democrats are going to lose big time. So we need to disassemble things like restructure Medicaid, food stamps, Medicare, housing. Make it work better. And to do that, get rid of all these fraud, waste, and abuse, freeloading mooches. Government doesn't even know what's going on. People say to me the other day, someone asked me about, what do I know? I know more than you should know or ever know for fraud. I've seen it all. Welfare offices. I've seen guys who were crackheads living in an old drug building in Quincy, Washington. The building got shut down eventually, but there was people that government paid for underpopulation, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedrooms, even 4 bedrooms. I remember one place we went and me and hubby applied. They were offering us 4 bedroom. I was like, do we qualify? And they said, we'll make sure you qualify. But you know what? I didn't take it because I was on the other side of the railroad tracks, you see? So think about that. And then when you see things like building transfers over, you find out something happened, and then you ask for something else, and then what happens? Turns out now, when you see stuff and the buildings get changed over to new owners or new management company, it means usually the government came down and got rid of the management company and the druggies. Yeah. And then they switch over. And then they do a house cleaning. Most people get house cleaned. Now. And then it starts from scratch. And then they hope they don't get caught again and they don't do it. And then people get in and they say, oh, my rent's cheap. Look what I'm doing. Who knows what's going to happen, but still. I'm tired of the fraud, waste, and abuse. I'm tired of the frickin' abuse. I'm tired of the harassment. Why do you think I'm always here running on a treadmill and staying away from people? Because the harassment's too bad. I mean, I have to go out eventually, probably early in the morning, but, so, it is what it is, peeps. So, with that said, yeah. I'm done. If you guys have any questions or concerns, we'll see how this plays out tomorrow. In the meantime, it's time for me to relax. So please unsubscribe, please post comments, leave feedback, suggestion, hit the like, subscribe button, hold some fun for your family, including your dogs, your cats, your bunnies, your service dogs, your service bunnies. The bell notification, thumbs up button, subscribe button, keep the comments nice, all we ask. Thank you. God bless you and everything you do.